A learned person once said, I owe my success to both my families, one that I was born into, and the other that I acquired as I grew up. Together, they helped me to shape up from being a tiny seed to a young tree that spreads its branches all around. The management and the teachers of kindergarten section of Stella Maris extend a warm welcome to each one of you to today's orientation program. We have in our midst today Ma'am Kalpana Chauhan, who has graciously accepted our invitation. She will be addressing us and giving very useful tips on parental guidance to all of you. A school is like a garden where you find all sorts of plants, big and small. And then there are tiny saplings, the new entrants. The gardener waters the plants and takes utmost care, particularly of the saplings, as they develop into plants until a day arrives when they eventually grow up as exuberant young trees. Dear parents, we are proud to induct your tiny saplings into our family. We would also like to thank you for entrusting us with the responsibility to guide, guard, and shape your ward over the coming years. It is no small step for you or for us, and we look forward to a long and fruitful association. We come together for a common cause, that of enabling your children to become learners, thinkers, and achievers, and more importantly, men and women of courage who can change the world by the sheer force of their conviction. It is pertinent to thank and praise God, the binding force and the reason for our existence. A prayer is a medium which not only draws us closer to the Almighty, the divine force, but reminds us that whatever we achieve is only due to His grace. So let us praise the Lord and send Him a message of gratitude for the bounties of life He has bestowed upon us. Now, I request Ma'am Sushila to lead us into the prayer, followed by the prayer hymn.
Lord God, we thank you that you promise to be with us always. Thank you that your presence is with us right now. Today, we give our hearts and mind to you. We pray that you would deepen our comprehension, broaden our thinking, and transform our understanding. For you are our wise counselor and a perfect teacher. We humbly request your overflowing blessings upon our lives. Bless us with love, joy, peace, good health, and happiness. Keep all of us safe, O loving Lord. I make this prayer in your holy name. Amen.
In His time, He makes all things beautiful. In His time, Lord.
A school is a child's second home. It is a family of several families. Stella Maris Inter College establishes a concrete foundation of knowledge and wisdom in the tender brain of our tiny tots, working with the motto of let your light shine. Now, let us all have a glimpse into the goal, mission, and the vision, as well as the facilities of the school.
Dear attendees, now we have amongst us a young and inspiring personality who is going to enlighten on the theme of parenting. A very warm welcome and greetings to Ma'am Kalpana Chauhan. A few amazing highlights about Ma'am Kalpana, who is an International Education Pride Award 2021 winner and has conducted more than 200 webinars so far. She has a decade of work experience in different domains. Her expertise in the subject matter of training and education makes her an outstanding and befitting mentor for the day. Once again, a very warm welcome to Ma'am Kalpana. Over to you, Ma'am Kalpana.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for the warm welcome. I feel like home, and I'm really amazed to have wonderful parents with me today on this beautiful afternoon. So, very, very warm good afternoon to everyone present out there. We're talking about today why we have gathered. Ma'am has already set the tone for the day. So, all of us are parents. Few of us could be the first time parent. Few of us must have done this journey before. We are a parent of a second child or a third child. But let me tell you one thing, one basic thing about parenting is it's a kind of test for which we never prepared before. It's a kind of test for which we are just thrown into the examination hall with no preparation at all. So this makes us more interesting to learn from our own experiences, to learn from the people on whom we rely. So basically, अगर किसी बच्चे को जिसको तैरना नहीं आता है, if we ask the child to go and jump into the river and start swimming, the same thing has happened to all of us in some or the other time in our lives. So today I'm going to ease out this process for you. So my job is to highlight certain factors, how you can make this journey more memorable, more easy, and more loving for our toddlers. Because today we are talking about their concerns and how we as parents can better guide them, can better shape them in their process. So can we have a video, please? Well, I will be giving you some guidelines. So this video will highlight This video will basically highlight the challenges that you face with your toddlers, what they feel, and how they react to your rules, and how you can ease out your life by setting boundaries for them, by letting them know what they have to do, how they have to do, and how they would become the best kid for you, the best student for the school, and the best citizen for the country. Can we have the video, please?
Hi friends, so today we are going to discuss how to discipline your toddler. So whenever we think of the word discipline, the first few words that come to our mind are spanking, yelling, consequences and timeouts. But today I'm going to discuss how you can successfully discipline your toddler just by being honest, calm, firm, but most importantly being consistent. This 5-step discipline method is inspired by a book called No Bad Kids by Janet Lansbury, who has helped many parents deal with difficult parenting issues by positive parenting approach. Discipline should be firm but fair. So let's look into what these 5 steps are. Step 1, set clear boundaries. If your child is pushing your limits all the time, then this is a clear signal that your toddler needs some rules and boundaries. This is the number 1 step in disciplining your child. Kids need absolute clear boundaries for them to be able to feel safe, and if they do not follow the rules, there has to be consequences. For example, if your toddler is dropping or playing with the food at the lunchtime, simply take the food away. And I know your child would be upset, but acknowledge their feelings by saying that I know you're upset that I have taken away the food, but we'll be eating soon again. Another example would be when your child is throwing toys. Simply take the toy away. This is a set clear boundary that toys are to be played with and not thrown away. Step 2, acknowledge your child's feeling. If your child is upset due to a set boundary, acknowledge their feelings. For instance, if your child is hitting his big sister, just stop his hand and tell him, I cannot let you hit. I am sure your child will start crying and would be very upset about it. But just acknowledge his feelings that I know you're upset, but I cannot let you hit because it hurts. Step 3 is to follow through. This is the most important but most difficult part of disciplining your toddler, is to follow through. Be prepared to take action if your child is not following your rules. Examples would be taking away the food or taking away the toy. When you take away the stuff, you know this is going to result into a tantrum cry. But if you give too many chances to your child, you will be in a situation when you are angry, you are upset, which will result into spanking or timeout or even yelling. So do not give too many chances. Action immediately. This is what Janet suggests in the book, but what I personally like to do is 3-strike rule. So the first time they do not follow your rule or your boundary, give them a heads up that I will take away so and so thing if you do it second time. If they do it second time, that should be a warning. If you do it third time, it is gone from your hand. If they do it third time, do not yell, just be patient and calm and take the stuff away. If your toddler cries, which most probably they will, just acknowledge the feeling that I know you're upset because I took your food away or I took your toy away, but it was not safe or not good to drop the food, and just leave it at that. And always have consequence. Consequence works good if they are not given as punishments. Consequences should be fair, but there should be consequences. If you do not follow through now, think about when they grow and turn into teenagers. They are never going to take you seriously, and they would always think, mama just talks and she never action upon if I don't follow through. So you have to follow through from now so that the teenage period is pretty smooth for you as a family, because your house rules are set. Step 4 is to accept your child's negative response. So just put yourself into your child's situation. If you want to do something and you're denied of, will you like it? No. So this is exactly what your child is feeling right now. They want to do something, but they have this boundary where they are not allowed to do that thing. So they are crying. They have a tantrum. But let them cry and let this tantrum or cry or these negative feelings pass just like a storm. Step 5 is to reconnect with your child. I know that disciplining can be a hard job, and many times as a parent you are put into a situation where you yourself are at end of your rope. But when you are trying to discipline, just be patient and calm, and if your child is throwing a tantrum, just let it pass and then reconnect. Don't hold any grudge against your child. Say for example, my daughter, she's 3.5 years old and she does not like to take afternoon naps, but she does not want me to put her 20 months old baby brother to for a nap as well. Now she doesn't want to be silent, she doesn't want to play in her own room, and she doesn't want to sleep either, which often ends up into a situation where they both are crying. So I had to set a clear boundary here that afternoon she has to take a nap, even if it's just for 30 or 40 minutes, she has to. And we had a couple of sessions of tantrum cries. I had to put her safely into another room while my 20 months old was taking a nap. And once those tantrum sessions were over, I just reconnected with her, made her happy, calm, and made her sleep, and she did. And now she knows her expectations and she doesn't have such tantrum sessions in the afternoon. So in summary, I would say the two main important steps of disciplining is, one, to set a clear limit, and second, to follow through. No matter how difficult it is, you have to follow through. Otherwise, your toddler who will grow a teenager, they will never take you seriously. So you have to take a stand and you have to let them know the house rules, and day by day things will get simpler. They will understand and they will know that mom is not going to give in, and then they have to respect what the rules are. And happy parenting.
All right. So you must have seen the similar consequences at your home as well. जैसा कि हमने देखा, बच्चे अपनी चीजों को कहीं पर भी फैला देते हैं. They play with toys and then they throw it here and there. This is a very basic problem. So when we talk about parenting, which is a 24 hours job, and I should not say, but it's a harsh fact that it's a thankless job. None of us are being appreciated. None of us are being recognized for being a good parent, because that's something which is innate. It's understood that when you are a parent, you have to be good. So for the job that doesn't give you any recognition until you prove yourself well, इसके लिए, when we need to work well with our kids, what we need to do is we need to frame our mind with a proper mindset that these children have so much of energy, they're so vibrant. तो अगर हम इनकी एनर्जी को कंट्रोल करने के पीछे जाएंगे कि इनको वही करना है जो हम कह रहे हैं, जैसा हम चाहते हैं, they will not listen to us. So ideally what we need to do is we need to set them in a proper fashion. When I'm saying setting them in a proper fashion, it's something that we need to discipline ourselves first. We need to show our true self to them, what we want them to do. For example, अगर हमें बच्चों से कोई बात मनवानी है, तो अगर हमने उनको कोई प्रॉमिस किया है, तो first of all we need to abide by our words. We need to give them that confidence कि वही मैं भी कर रहा हूँ. It applies to everyone because rule is rule. So these tiny ones, they have a lot of energy, ample of energy around them. So when that energy is not channelized properly, they get distracted. They would do what they want to. So we need to channelize that energy. So first of all, we need to make a timetable for them. That yes, this is your timetable. You need to wake up at this time, and then these are the activities you need to supposed to do on your own or with the help. And then you need to earn your recreation time. So when I'm saying earning your recreation time, it means कि पहले आप बच्चों को बोलोगे, first you need to finish off your homework or do this exercise for me, then we'll have a break time and mama will play with you or papa, whosoever is available at home. So this would give a clear signal to your child that he or she has to earn this pleasure. पर हम कर क्या रहे हैं हमारी भागदौड़ की जिंदगी में? Because we are not able to give them proper time. We are bringing them lot many presents, unnecessary present also. Let me tell you very, very harshly. When I'm saying this, I'm also sailing in the same boat like you. I also have a 5-year-old toddler at my home. जब हम टाइम दे नहीं पाते हैं तो उसको हम कहीं ना कहीं कॉम्पेंसेट करने में लग जाते हैं. So in this case, what we need to do is we need to spare quality time. अब ये quality कैसे आएगी? Right? The same question sparks our mind like anything. क्वालिटी की बात ये है कि जब भी आप बच्चे के पास हो, whether it is just 10 minutes or 20 minutes time, you need to ensure that you hear the child properly, hear his emotions, let him speak out, let him be comfortable with you, give a proper cuddle. Tell your child that you are safe and we'll together work for your betterment. So this you will have a proper connect with your child. Let him speak more and you speak less. What we do when we don't have time, मेरा बच्चा प्यार करना दुलारना, a lot of stuff we do as mothers as fathers. जब भी हम जाते हैं with a gift, so बच्चे का distraction क्या होता है? बच्चा gift की ओर attention pay करता है. It can be a chocolate or it can be a toy. The child's energy is again shifted to something else, which has to be there with you. This is a trick. So we'll see to these things and we'll keep it in our mind. Can we have next slide, please? Next one. So if I talk about the biggest mistake that we all do as parents, थोड़ा सा सोचने की कोशिश करिए. Although we cannot have a conversation right now because this medium does not allow us, but I'm sure you must have answers in your head. So what I think is the biggest mistake that we do in this era is sparing our children with technology. Though technology is a boon as well as a bane, अभी तो हमारे लिए एक need भी बन गया था और still कई जगहों पे चल भी रहा है. But this technology unattendedly, when it is given to kids, it may have very lasting impacts, very drastic impacts. So please ensure, please equip yourself with certain tools that will ensure that your kids are not going through a wrong direction. अगर आप उनको एक फोन दे रहे हो, एक लैपटॉप दे रहे हो, तो उसमें आपको कई चीजें ब्लॉक करके रखनी चाहिए. Though they are very tiny, they are very small, but you never know what they get to see. I'll tell you with my experience in one of the schools, I could see a child watching something on his mobile, and it was a cartoon basically. Cartoon character mein the girl had a boyfriend, so it was like, you're my boyfriend. At that age, the child is exposed to this word. The child doesn't know the meaning at all. There has to be a different age for learning these things. Everything comes at a specific time. But what it is doing is, it is distracting the child at that point in time. So ensure that whatever the content the child is playing or watching, there has to be either someone from the family to look after, or if not feasible, then there can be some software bought to allow to stop all these things. That's one. So that's the biggest mistake all of us are doing. And one more thing, my dear friends. मैंने आपको टाइम के बारे में बताया. जब भी आपके पास कम टाइम है, आपको उसको क्वालिटी टाइम में बदलना है. You need to always keep in your mind, भले ही आप 5 मिनट अपने बच्चे को दे रहे हो, उसके दिन में क्या क्या हुआ. Just ask him, how was your day? Did you feel good about your school? Okay, if you felt good, what was so good in that? Can you please tell me? Mama wants to know that. Show some expression. When you will be expressing in that child's shoe, the child will be interested to listen to you. It works like a magic. बच्चे के साथ बच्चा बनिए. I'm sure आप लोग बनते भी होंगे. But कई बार हम थोड़ा सा as adults, because हमारी lives बहुत complicated हैं, बहुत complex structure में हम काम करते हैं. At times we lose our temper, but we need to understand that we are in a full-time parenting role, which is a thankless job, but that's something which is a privilege, because there are people who do not have kids. So my dear friends, we are privileged that we are able to shape up certain lives. Next slide, please. So which classroom the children would enjoy? If you can see on the screen, this is one way how the children are sitting, one next to the other. This is one way. Can we have the next one? Okay, so this is another one. Can you figure out the difference here? I'm sure आपने दिमाग में जरूर ध्यान दिया होगा कि उसमें हम एक सेटअप में बैठे हैं, सारे बच्चे एक रो में बैठे हुए हैं, फिर उसके बाद एक दूसरी रो है, उसके बाद एक दूसरी रो है. इस सेटअप में जब हम देखते हैं बच्चों को, दे आर सोशलाइजिंग, दे आर इन क्लस्टर्स. आप अपने उन दिनों को याद करिए जब आप स्कूल में होते थे और जब आप बेंच पे बैठते थे एक रो वाले सिस्टम में, और आज जब आप अपने ऑफिस में जाते हैं, यू वर्क विद पीपल, यू वर्क थ्रू पीपल. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? The difference is that we are not taught how to deal with people, how to work with people, how to work through people. But my dear friends, this is 21st century and these are 21st century learners. So they need to work with people. So what we do in our school now, we give them certain exposure wherein they need to do some activities together in a group so that they would become mature when they are asked to be mature. जब हम अपने ऑफिस में पहली बार गए थे, आप किसी भी फील्ड में काम करते हो, आपको लोगों के साथ मिलके काम करना होता है. कोई एक पीपीटी भी बनानी है आपके ऑफिस के लिए, सो यू नीड टू डिस्कस विद पीपल किसका क्या रोल होगा. आज जब मैं आपसे बात कर रही हूँ, all of us have different responsibilities. You saw ma'am who represented Stella Maris, then another ma'am came in picture, she gave a beautiful prayer, then my role started. So all of us know what we have to do. So is it possible without communication? Think about it. So communication is the weapon in 21st century. So how to use that weapon, that would give an edge to our students, to our toddlers. तो अब हम अपने स्कूल में कोशिश ऐसा करते हैं जिसमें हम बच्चों को ऐसी कई एक्टिविटीज कराएं wherein they need to work with each other, because this is one very big skill that even NEP has highlighted. अगर मैं 4 बेसिक स्किल्स की बात करूं जो कि एनईपी ने बताया है कि हमें अपने बच्चों में डेवलप करनी है, उसमें स्कूल भी योगदान दे रहा है, उसमें आपके भी योगदान की जरूरत है और उसमें हमारे जैसे लोग भी कहीं ना कहीं पार्ट एंड पार्सल हैं. अब वो 4 बेसिक स्किल्स अगर मैं आपको बताऊं तो रोज प्लीज 5 मिनट निकालिएगा ये समझने के लिए कि क्या मेरे बच्चों में ये 5 स्किल्स धीरे धीरे अपग्रेड हो रही हैं, या एज पेरेंट मैं उसमें क्या कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट कर पा रहा हूं या कर पा रही हूं. नंबर 1 इज क्रिएटिविटी. How creative an individual could be. Number 2 is collaboration. How we collaborate with people, how we gel with them. क्योंकि सबकी अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं. जब हम 2 लोगों को या 4 लोगों के साथ काम करने की बात करते हैं, everyone has a different strength or weakness. एक ग्रुप में सभी एक जैसे नहीं होते. एक हाथ में 5 उंगलियां भी एक जैसी नहीं होती. कोई बड़ी है, कोई छोटी है, इसको इसके सपोर्ट की जरूरत है और इसको थंब की जरूरत है, राइट? So all of us in a cluster looks beautiful. एक बुके को भी जब आप देखते हैं तो वो छोटे छोटे फ्लावर से मिलके बनता है. तो हमें अपने बच्चों को ये सिखाना है that collaboration is one art. अब ये आप घर पे कैसे करोगे? If the child has sibling, then give them the habit of sharing things. Set clear boundaries. You need to share it with everyone. Whatever comes to home, whatever goodies comes to home, you need to give it to others before having yourself. So that will give him the right path कि उसको कैसे share करके खाना है. And sharing is caring. It's not scaring, my dear friends. So sharing is caring. So we need to project what we want our kids to do. So this is one way how we are addressing our children in our school. Can we have the next slide, please? So when we talk about our toddlers, they have different senses which are much open. अगर मैं अपने से कंपेयर करूं, so we as adult, हमारा एक सेट पैटर्न होता है. हम कैसे बात करते हैं, कैसे लोगों से मिलते हैं, कैसे सोचते हैं. Because our mind is now very much complexed. We have our own experiences. But these toddlers, their senses are open now because they are very small. आप जो shape दोगे, they will take it up. They're like water. किसी भी वेसल में आप उनको डाल दीजिए, they will definitely take the shape. तो अगर आप इस चीज को ध्यान में रखेंगे, they see things, they observe it. They see, they observe, and they retain in their minds. They hear the way you speak to others. इस पे बहुत गौर करिएगा. बच्चे बहुत ध्यान देते हैं कि आप किससे क्या बात कर रहे हैं. आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, if you are doing a kitty party at your home, you don't know whom are you backbiting, but your kids are overhearing what you're doing, which is a very, very normal thing. All of us do it certain times, but we need to ensure that when we are surrounded with kids, we need to project the behavior that we want them to adopt. So their senses are much open. They are hearing out what you're saying, what you're speaking. They are visualizing. Their brain is active. Their eyes are active. Their ears are active. तो अब जब उनकी एक्टिविटी बहुत ज़्यादा है, क्योंकि वो एक कोरा कागज़ है, तो हमको क्या करना है एज पेरेंट्स? वी नीड टू चैनलाइज देयर एनर्जी. सो हम घर पे एज पेरेंट, तो वी डू नॉट कम फ्रॉम द सेम बैकग्राउंड, उसके लिए स्कूल है बच्चों को शेप अप करने के लिए एक रेगुलर टाइम के लिए, बट एज पेरेंट व्हाट इज आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी? whatever we can give them to feed their brains. क्या हम जब टॉय खरीदने जाते हैं ये सोचते हैं कि ऐसा कोई टॉय हो जिससे हम पढ़ा भी सकें? टॉडलर्स के केस में हम ये देखते हैं कि बच्चों की ग्रिपिंग कैसे स्ट्रांग हो, तो क्या हम कुछ ट्वीजर्स ला रहे हैं सो दैट देयर ग्रिपिंग which is helpful for pencil holding, that is getting strong. So we need to be thinking all the time. कुछ भी देने से पहले, बच्चे के हाथ में पकड़ाने से पहले, no matter how lucrative it is, give it a thought. Is it making an impact in my child's life? भले ही वो 100 रुपए की चीज हो, भले ही वो 10 रुपए की चीज हो, भले ही वो 1000 रुपए की चीज हो, it doesn't matter at all. All that matters is what your child is exposed to. उसको क्या दिख रहा है, वो क्या सुन रहा है. आप घर में कैसे मूवीज देखते हो, आपको आइडिया भी नहीं है आपके बच्चे में किस तरह के सेंसेस डेवलप हो रहे हैं. आर यू वॉचिंग थ्रिल? आर यू वॉचिंग रोमांटिक मूवीज? और आर यू वॉचिंग समथिंग स्पिरिचुअल? Mind your surrounding. Mind what you are doing. Because your children will not understand what you are trying them to understand. You know what I mean here? They would only understand what you did not say to them. They would observe you, what you are doing, what you are not directly stating to them. For example, मैं अपने बच्चे से कहूँ, बेटा आपको सुबह सुबह प्रेयर सुननी है, बिकॉज सुबह बहुत अच्छी होती है प्रेयर सुनने के लिए. एंड व्हाट यू आर डूइंग व्हेन यू वेक अप, यू स्टार्ट दोज हिप हॉप सॉन्ग्स. तो बच्चे को भले ही वो आपसे बोलेगा नहीं कि मम्मा आप क्या कर रहे हो, उसको पता है कि आपने जो उसको एडवाइस दी थी, यू आर नॉट फॉलोइंग इट. So give a scenario. As parent, what you need to do is that you need to give a proper environment. What has to be feasible to them? जो आप उनको बनाना चाहते हो, आपको वो environment create करना है, and it takes your blood and sweat. Exactly. When I'm saying this, I literally mean it. I have very less time for my kid who is just 5 years old. But I always ensure whenever he's around, I avoid taking up my official calls. Because those official calls might have something that I should not speak before him. He should not be hearing that out. So I immediately go to next room. There could be few people जिनके पास ये luxury भी ना हो, एक ही छोटे से घर में रहते हैं और बच्चों को भी देखना है, तो आपको उस चीज को थोड़ा सा avoid करना है. When the child is engaged in some activity, when the child is playing, do that thing little later on. So be mindful all the time. आपके कोई भी पर्सनल काम है, जो किसी से भी पर्सनल कॉन्वर्जेशन करना है, when the child is slept, do it then. And trust me, you won't repent later on. हम लोग करते क्या है, पैसा कमाने की भागदौड़ में जो टाइम हमें बच्चे को देना होता है, या क्वालिटी टाइम जो हम दे सकते हैं, जो हम निकाल सकते हैं, उसको भी हम बर्बाद कर देते हैं. कैसे? जब हम प्रेजेंट्स लेके पहुंच जाते हैं. We want a compliment, we want something easy. बट वो समथिंग ईजी फिर एक इतना डिफिकल्ट होके हमको कई सालों बाद मिलता है, जब हमारे बच्चे का एक कैरेक्टर शेप अप हो चुका होता है, जब वो बच्चा अपने दोस्तों की जिंदगी में ज्यादा घुसना पसंद करता है क्योंकि वो टीनेज में चला गया होता है. सबसे आइडियल टाइम है बच्चे को अच्छे मॉरल वैल्यूज देने का अप टू द एज ऑफ 8. Whatever environment you would create up to the age of 8, it will be very firm, very strong in his brain here, because he has visualized thing. आपको नहीं पता, वो पूरी यहाँ पे फिल्म की तरह फ्रीज हो जाता है, घर में क्या क्या हुआ, कितने झगड़े हुए पेरेंट्स के, एवरीथिंग. इफ यू आर डूइंग समथिंग वंडरफुल, अगेन दैट विल बी फ्रीज्ड हियर, कि मेरे पेरेंट्स तो सत्संग भी करते हैं, मेरे पेरेंट्स दे डू नॉट डू एनीथिंग रॉन्ग, दे आर वेरी गुड, दे आर वेरी गुड टुगेदर, दे आर वेरी लविंग टुगेदर. सो अगर बच्चा ये देखेगा तो उसको हस्बैंड वाइफ के रिलेशन को समझने का एक अलग ही लेवल मिलेगा, दैट इट्स समथिंग व्हिच इज वेरी वंडरफुल. एंड एट द सेम टाइम इफ यू गाइज कीप ऑन फाइटिंग, उनको लगेगा व्हाट इज दिस ऑल अबाउट, क्या हम भी बड़े होकर ऐसे झगड़ेंगे. उनको ये नहीं पता व्हाट इज हस्बैंड वाइफ, व्हाट इज पेरेंट एंड किड, क्योंकि वो 3 या 4 साल के हैं या 5 साल के हैं. दे डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड, बट द टाइम दे विल ग्रेजुअली ग्रो अप. They will see you growing up the way it has been there at home. So please be mindful of your gestures at home. Next slide, please. So when we talk about schools, we transform schools into meaningful, joyful, and learning environments where every child, every parent, and everyone enjoys the most. स्कूल एक ऐसी जगह है जहां पर बच्चे को शेप अप करने के लिए एक रेगुलर टाइम पर भेजा जाता है एंड एवरीवन नोज हाउ टू डू इट बिकॉज दे हैव बीन डूइंग इट फॉर मेनी मेनी इयर्स. So be very open to school. Whatever school communicates with you, please be assured that it is for your own goodness. It is for the sake of your own toddler who is stepping up for the very first time, because school is nothing but a second home to a child. जब हम प्ले ग्रुप की बात करते हैं, जब आप बच्चे को पहली बार एडमिट कराते हो, the child needs that motherly care. And the teachers knows that very well. They are trained in that fashion. They know that it is the second home, so they need to be comfortable first. Learning comes next. Next slide, please. So when we talk about the need, now we are hitting the nail. Well, talking about India's education system, it has ranked near the bottom in international comparisons. Can you guess what is the reason behind that? Is that teachers? Is that books or school buildings or administrative staff? What do you think? Think about it. Well, now I'm here to address what exactly it is. Well, research has clearly shown that it is just the teaching methods. Next slide, please. अब जब मैं कह रही हूँ, मैंने एक स्टेटमेंट आपको दिया कि इंडिया का जो रैंक है एजुकेशन सिस्टम में वो बॉटम में आता है और रिसर्च ने ये प्रूव किया है इट इज द टीचिंग मेथड्स. तो आपको ये चीज एज पेरेंट इट इज योर राइट टू नो दैट व्हाट टीचिंग मेथड्स आर बीइंग यूज्ड. So for I'll take the privilege to introduce you at Stella Maris. What we are doing is we are giving you a child-friendly approach as our teaching method. Activity-based learning that is fun-filled. खेल में बच्चों को सिखाते हैं. That is our motto. So अगर आप इस पिक्चर को देखें जिसमें आपको बहुत सारे components दिख रहे हैं, one is school building and grounds, another is administration, teachers, maintenance, curriculum, and at the first you can see teaching methods. So trust me, my dear friends, it is the teaching methods that takes our blood and sweat, जिसमें हमारे टीचर्स की मेहनत लगी होती है. टीचर्स को हर बच्चे को ध्यान में रखते हुए अपना एक डे प्लान करना होता है जिसमें विजुअल लर्नर्स को कैसे अट्रैक्ट करना है. जिन बच्चों के सेंसेस ऑडिटरी वाले ज्यादा हैं उनके लिए हमें अपने प्लान में क्या लेके आना है. कुछ बच्चे जो एक्टिविटी से सीखते हैं जिसको हम किनेस्थेटिक लर्नर्स भी कहते हैं, उनको कैसे साथ में लेके चलना है. तो एक टीचर के पास 25 बच्चे हैं, 30 बच्चे हैं, एक्स नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स हैं. सो हाउ टू मेक एवरीवन at their best level. So that is the very tedious job of teacher. तो आप जो भी fee component देते हो, it is for teaching methods. You should know this fact. Next slide, please. So talking about core concepts, आपको एक चीज दिमाग में हमेशा रखनी है कि बच्चों का जो भविष्य है वो तभी बनेगा जब they will start competing with themselves. No comparisons at all. You should never say कि शर्मा जी का बच्चा इतना अच्छा है या आपके बड़े भैया के मार्क्स इतने आए हैं, आपकी दीदी के मार्क्स इतने आए हैं. Why are you dumb? Stop using this language. Stop comparisons. We should only compare it with ourselves. Okay, beta, you got less marks this time in maths. We will work together on your maths. Let me see, where are you facing problems? आपको division नहीं आता, subtraction नहीं आता. Let me help you with that. Let us diagnose the problem. Let us work it together and next time I'm sure we'll do wonders. जब आप ये confidence बच्चे को देना शुरू करते हो, when you change your tone of voice, the child will start listening to you. हर बच्चे को पसंद होता है कि उसके लिए क्लास में clapping हो, उसको भी एक trophy मिले. You can do that. You can help your child. Every child is not a born genius. And everyone is not supposed to. That's how nature has brought all of us, a different individual. अगर Albert Einstein अनसक्सेसफुल नहीं रहे होते तो वो बाद में सक्सेसफुल कैसे होते. लेकिन अगर आप उनके जीवन को स्टडी करोगे या थॉमस अल्वा एडिसन को स्टडी करोगे जिन्होंने इतने फेलियर अटेम्प्ट्स देने के बाद एक बड़ा सा इन्वेंशन किया, एक बल्ब का इन्वेंशन किया फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, उनका भी स्कूल पीरियड बहुत ही खराब था। तो अगर हम कंपेयर करने लगेंगे उस बच्चे को, तो उसकी जो प्रतिभा है, उसकी जो क्रिएटिविटी है, उसको तो हमने ब्रेक लगा दी। We are actually being a hindrance in our child's life. So don't do that. Every child is unique, accept this fact. So what we have done at our school is we have given you a child-centered curriculum. हमारा जो पढ़ाने का तरीका है उसमें हम हर बच्चे को पहले तो कंफर्टेबल करते हैं. The child tends to know what I'm supposed to do when I'm doing a circle time. मुझे बच्चों के साथ, अदर बच्चों के साथ कैसे बिहेव करना है, how I need to respond to my teacher. We start with basic etiquettes, how you need to greet people, how you need to sit in a group and stuff like that. So that's how we prepare, we nurture them with our love, with our compassion. So be with us in this journey, because my dear friends, बच्चे की जर्नी में एक ट्राइंगल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. इस ट्राइंगल में एक आप हैं एज पेरेंट, एक ये टीचर है, ये भी एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग एलिमेंट है, ये है उसका नीचे वाला एनवायरनमेंट, किस एनवायरनमेंट में बच्चा एक्सपोज्ड है और बीच में वो बच्चा है. तो इस ट्राइंगल की अगर एक भी कड़ी वीक होगी तो अल्टीमेटली हमारा बच्चा सफर करेगा. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. अगर आप इसको देखें, इसमें बहुत बड़ी बड़ी हस्तियां हैं इस पिक्चर में. मैंने जैसे एडिसन की बात करी, आइंस्टाइन की बात करी. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट मदर टेरेसा, who has been known for her compassion, the compassionate love that she had for all human beings. They were never good students. यहाँ पर मेरा इंटेंशन आपको ये बताना नहीं है कि पढ़ाई में अच्छे आप नहीं होगे तभी आप कुछ बड़ा करोगे. All I'm trying to tell you is that every child is unique. You need to understand what your child's strengths and weaknesses are. Once you diagnose that, then you need to find a plan, and our teachers are there with you in your journey to let you know where are they lacking and how they can improve. So you spend some time with your class teacher, आपके बच्चे के class teacher के साथ. Be much frequent to have a conversation. Thanks to COVID, इसने हमें teachers के numbers भी आसानी से दिलवा दिया. Although इनकी privacy invade हुई है, teachers के लिए बहुत easy नहीं रहा है, but still they are open to you, because they would like to make a positive change in your child's life. So be open to them, hear their feedback, give your opinion as well, and then together form a proper way how to handle your child in a fashion that he or she comes to his utmost ability. Next slide, please. Talking about homework, how we give homework. All the material is generally covered in class. So the only motive of giving homework is to reinforce. So what we rather urge you, not to help your child in doing the homework, but to create an environment wherein the child feels comfortable. अगर बच्चा कहीं पर problem में अटक रहा है, you can help the child. But do not go for tuitions or doing it yourself. Let the child be doing it on his own. नहीं आता तो आप उसके डायरी में एक नोट भी लिख सकते हो for the teacher, or send a message to the teacher if it is feasible to her, कि मेरे बच्चे को ये नहीं आ रहा है. या बच्चे से आप बोल सकते हो कि आप इसको कल जाके मैम को पूछोगे, मैंने आपको बताया है. Still if you're not able to do it, ask your ma'am. So this is how, if you will be involved, our teachers are there to assist you. But if you will not be vocal, or the child would not be vocal, ultimately you know who is at loss. So the only agenda behind giving homework is to reinforce what is already taught, what is already covered in class. So we actually enforces what is important, because we work more on the conceptual clarity rather than doing so many exercises. जब तक conceptual clarity नहीं होती हम homework भी नहीं देते हैं. But still, if it is there, anything is lacking, you can give it a note and let us get back to us. Next slide, please. When we talk about the basic etiquettes, we also should know how much sleep is required for a toddler. This is very much important, क्योंकि स्लीप पीरियड जो होता है उसमें हमारी बॉडी रिस्टोरिंग कर रही होती है जो भी हमारी एनर्जी है. और क्योंकि बच्चों के केस में एनर्जी बहुत ज्यादा होती है, जिसको हम चैनलाइज जब नहीं कर पाते हैं तब बच्चा हमारा डिस्ट्रैक्ट होता है, और जिसको हम कहते हैं शरारत कर रहा है, आतंक बना हुआ है पूरे घर में, वो तभी करता है क्योंकि हम उसको सही से चैनलाइज नहीं कर पाते. अगर बच्चे को कोई काम करना अच्छा लग रहा है, टॉयज के साथ फैल के खेल रहा है, वो कुछ भी कर रहा है, तोड़ रहा है, वट एवर he or she is doing, you need to create another game plan. अब मैं कैसे करती हूँ, आई टेल यू. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, बच्चे ने पूरा घर में फैलाया हुआ है, रूम को पूरा खराब कर दिया है. सो आई विल से, ओके, लेट अस प्ले, लेट अस सी हाउ मेनी ऑब्जेक्ट्स वी हैव टेकन इट बैक टू द बास्केट. I'll pick one, I'll pick the red one. Which one will you pick? The child gets attracted. The child will listen to what mama is saying, क्योंकि उसको पता है कुछ तो अट्रैक्टिव काम हो रहा है, something is being played. खेल खेल में मैं उसे उसके सारे टॉयज भरवा लेती हूँ. बट थोड़ा सा बच्चा बनना पड़ेगा, थोड़ी सी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी टू गेट द वर्क डन, नॉट टू डू इट ऑन योर ओन. जब आप अपने आप करने लग जाओगे तो बच्चे की अगेन एक गलत आदत पड़ जाएगी. उसको पता है मम्मा कर देगी, पापा कर देंगे, व्हाई शुड आई डू इट, इट्स देयर जॉब. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. सो स्लीप की अगर मैं बात करूं, आई नीड टू टेल यू दैट 7 to 8 hours इज मस्ट फॉर अ टॉडलर टू स्लीप, क्योंकि वो उसका रीस्टोरिंग पीरियड होता है, जिसमें जो भी एनर्जी उसने खर्च की है वो अपने आप ऑटोमेटिकली रीस्टोर हो रही है. तो एज human beings, what is the blessing that all of us are given from the divine power? I'm sure you must be having answers in your head, but to me, that blessing is to shape a different individual altogether. एक इंडिविजुअल हम हैं, जैसे भी हैं, अच्छे हैं, बुरे हैं, जो भी कर रहे हैं, हमें एक ब्लेसिंग मिली है एक इंडिविजुअल को नरिश करने की, नर्चर करने की और उसको तैयार करने के लिए इस लाइफ में. सो वी आर गिवन अ पर्पस टू लिव. So ensure that this purpose is getting fulfilled beautifully. Next slide, please. Children learn higher order thinking and self-analysis when they are put into that scenario. For example, मैंने बच्चे को कहानी सुनाई as parent और as teacher, कछुए और खरगोश की. They know कि कछुए ने क्या किया, खरगोश ने क्या किया. अब क्या मैं उनकी higher order thinking skills के लिए कोई गेम प्ले कर सकती हूँ उनके साथ? Yes, I can do that. I can ask them. I'm sure आप सभी ने ये कहानी तो सुनी ही होगी, तो एज बच्चा थोड़ी देर के लिए सोचना शुरू करिए कि टीचर ने आपको क्या पढ़ाया था. अब आपको अगर हाई ऑर्डर थिंकिंग स्किल्स डेवलप करानी है, व्हाट यू विल बी डूइंग विद देम इज, बेटा एक बात बताओ, अगर आपको कछुए से कुछ पूछना है, व्हाट विल यू आस्क? द चाइल्ड वुड से, मैं कछुए से पूछूंगा कि आपको जब पता था कि आप हार जाओगे तो भी आप कैसे कंटिन्यू रहे. अच्छा बेटा, दूसरे बच्चे से पूछोगे, बेटा आपको अगर खरगोश से कुछ पूछना है तो आप क्या पूछोगे? और अगर आपको इस स्टोरी से रिलेटेड कोई और स्टोरी बनानी है तो क्या होगी? या क्या आप इस स्टोरी को अपनी लाइफ से कहीं रिलेट कर सकते हो? अब बच्चा रिस्पॉन्स देना शुरू करेगा, राइट? सो वी नीड टू एंश्योर दैट वी नीड टू बी आस्किंग देम द राइट क्वेश्चन सो दैट देयर ब्रेन गेट्स ओपन अप. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. ओके, स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्म वेल विदाउट ट्यूशन. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. तो जैसा मैंने आपको पहले से बोला कि ट्यूशन क्यों आपको अवॉइड करना है. ट्यूशन से क्या होता है, बच्चा डिपेंडेंट हो जाता है. सो वी नीड टू एंश्योर दैट चिल्ड्रन शुड बी डूइंग देयर वर्क ऑन देयर ओन. अब यहां पर हम क्या कराते हैं, हम बच्चों को ऐसी एक्टिविटीज देते हैं जिसमें दे टेंड टू वर्क विद पीपल, दे टेक द ओनरशिप. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अब हम बच्चे को पूछते हैं, बेटा टेल मी समथिंग अबाउट योर सेल्फ, और उसको हम क्लियर गाइडेंस भी देते हैं, व्हाट इज योर नेम, व्हाट इज योर फादर्स नेम. अब बच्चा जब अपने पीयर्स के सामने बोलता है तो बच्चा गेट्स मोर कॉन्फिडेंट. सो दैट काइंड्स ऑफ एक्टिविटीज वी कवर इन आवर सिलेबस. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. So students build skills in planning, goal setting and time management. This is very important. तो हम प्लानिंग स्टेज पे भी आपको भी गाइड करेंगे. इनफैक्ट बच्चों का भी पूरा डे प्लान बनता है जिसमें हम उनको बताते हैं what they are supposed to do once they are back home. So please abide by that. Next slide, please. Joyful learning, because joyful learning replaces rote education. हम सब जिस टाइम से आए हैं, जिस एरा से बिलोंग करते हैं, वहां पर हमें चॉक एंड टॉक मेथड से पढ़ाया जाता था. बट now our kids are blessed. It is not at all rote learning. It is something which is very vibrant. We are using a technological tool to make learning more joyful to them. We are using different equipments. So please come and explore it with us at our school. I'm sure you would love it. So as parents, next slide please. As parents, my only thing to you is, though we cannot have a question answer session, but I would only give you one advice, that give your best shot. रिजल्ट क्या आएगा पता नहीं, वो हम में से किसी ने नहीं देखा है. बट वन थिंग ऑलवेज कीप इन योर माइंड दैट वट एवर यू आर डूइंग, इट इज बीइंग प्रोजेक्टेड, द पिक्चर इज गेटिंग स्टोर्ड हियर. सो माइंड माई वर्ड्स एंड एंजॉय दिस ब्यूटिफुल राइड. सो वेरी वेरी वार्म thanks for being having me here, and I'm sure that you would have some or the other things from this session and you would start implementing it and you would find better results. So with that note, very, very good luck. Enjoy your time. Thank you so much.
Heartfelt thanks to Ma'am Kalpana for her enlightening words that must have inspired all our dear parents for spending quality time with their children. Do find out the 5 skills in your child. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Your child will enter a new, promising, and exciting world where each day will be a new learning experience, and each one of you, dear parents, will be actively involved in this great journey of your child, which we call Stella Maris Inter College. So let us make those important first encounters with other kids and the school a wonderful, lasting, and a beautiful experience for the child, for the parent, and for the school.
Dear parents, Stella Maris Inter College will be a place where your little ones will not only learn to read, write, and count, rather, it will be a place that gives them ample opportunities to learn, to live a good and happy life, give vent to their imagination, and test and nurture their talents. Now, our twinkling stars are ready to win your hearts over with their energetic and exhilarating dance.
में बातों में रोशनी, सूरज की बाहों में अब है ये जिंदगी, गिरने हैं सांसों में बातों में रोशनी। जो एक बदली दिल की ताल है, आहा, यूं ही आया एक ख्याल है, आहा, बांटे हमें जिंदगी एक बार, क्यों न करे खुल के हम इसका प्यार, जाने किसका है हमें इंतजार, कि जिंदगी नहीं है और नहीं।
कहना है एक बड़ा सा thank you, ऐसा कुछ तो हुआ to me, रोज दिखाती जाए कुछ नया, ये दुनिया हाथ में रख गई। Thanks a lot, lots and lots, many ways just to say thanks a lot. सुबह हो या शाम, चाहे जिंदगी हो काम हो का पहले, बस तुम्हारा नाम। Thanks a lot, lots and lots, many ways just to say thanks a lot.
There's no joy without gratitude. As we come to the end of today's program, I express my gratitude to everyone for their presence. Welcome to the Stella Maris family. At the end, I would like to quote the famous saying that there are only two keys to educational success: hard work and parental cooperation. So here comes some important information regarding academics.
Now, I would request everyone to rise for the school anthem. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful day ahead.